15 minutes, please. Calls 15 minutes.
15, thank you. So anyway, this guy, the director, actually used a buzzer. Really. Bzzz. He would sit there wearing a Yankees baseball cap and push this buzzer after each laugh line for as long as he thought the laugh would last. Laugh line, bzzz. This was to train us not to step on the laugh. Can you believe it? Oh, he trained us, believe me. The show opens. There are no laughs, but we're waiting for the buzzer. A 2-hour play lasted 3 hours while we paused for laughs that didn't exist. I aged 7 years and a night. Directors. Last year, I did Katrine in Mother Courage. For this really dour, silent, unapproachable East German woman, she would sit there on a camp stool, immovable for hours during rehearsal with her eyes closed, no reactions. I felt like a radio show. Anyway, after a week, she asks me out for a beer and suggests that we sleep together to get in tune with the show. I say she wants to get in tune with the show, she should sleep with the author. And then she says, but my dear, Bertolt has been dead for 30 years. And I said, in that case, you're perfect for each other. He called 15, right? My, so we're really doing this, huh? I mean, it's really mysterious, you know? Like, they're already out there, right? Sitting out there, eating little candies, peering in pocket mirrors. I mean, who are they? Who knows? What are they expecting? Who knows? We'll do it. They watch it. We finish, they applaud, they go home, we go home. What was it? Who knows? What I want to know is how the hell they live in a town like this without a decent Chinese restaurant. Okay. So, it's 15, and I'm in here getting ready for an evening of lacerating self-exposure, right? And there are people out there reading the program, reading my bio, getting a little personal insight, getting to know me. And what I want to know is, who are they? I mean, fair's fair, right? What I would like, other than some decent light in this dressing room, what I would like is a program delivered to me every night with bios of the audience. You know, so we'd start out even. I really am a mutt, you know what? Where they live, last play they saw, favorite color, sexual preference, last relationship they screwed up, you know, basic stuff. Because then we'd be in this together, right? I do a little lacerating self-exposure, they do a little lacerating self-exposure, and who knows? Maybe afterwards we go out for a beer because, well, you see what you get is, because then there would be an exchange, and not this unilateral crap, this I'm in the light, you're in the dark stuff, which, truth to tell, is beginning to wear on me. Me, Moira, the semi-taurus from Juilliard with 2 Broadway credits, this baby, and an unreleased horror film where I am eaten by stone griffins on the towers of the Notre Dame.
5 minutes. It calls 5 minutes, please.
Right. 5 minutes. Right. I mean, I have nothing against these people, these humans, who have paid their money, some would say too much money, for an evening of entertainment. Wow. You don't think of it like that? That what you are an entertainment. I mean, I strike myself as a number of things, but I do not strike me as, look, what I would like, once, just before my entrance, is to walk down stage and say, can we have the house lights up for a second? Just for a second, please. Hey, okay, thanks. And I would just look at them, you know, these people who seriously believe that I'm an entertainment. Hi, how are you? And I would just look at them, you know, just take them in. And then I would say, see, this would be better already. It's better to have seen their faces. And then I would say, that I'm a little fragile. Freaked out, you know. Sort of at the end of a personal relationship. I mean, not the character. Well, I mean, the character is too, but you've all been through that, right? The end of a crucial relationship. You know, the self-doubt and everything, the feeling that you're a mutt. You're too much of a mutt to be loved. And you have this crisis of confidence. Is that a good description? It's hard to act. Hard to be the entertainment for people you don't even know. Haven't looked at. So I needed to see you tonight, just see you for a minute. That's all, okay?
Places, please. The call is places. Places, please.
Hey, ready to rock and roll, right? Ready to do this in the dark for whoever. And whoever makes of it, right? Because that's the way it's supposed to be. And hey, listen. I am a mutt, all right? I am supremely self-confident. I lacerate with my self-exposure. Listen. Don't screw with me, okay? They said it in the newspaper. I am the entertainment, and when I open my lips, let no dog bark. And hey, screw them if they can't take a joke, right? And hey, me, I'm the joke. But on the other hand, I'm in the light.
demonstrating consciousness. Now you, the Imperial you, have a part. I need a part. We're thus in tune. Synchronicity. So, it's Audition City, and I have 2 pieces for you today. I've got 1 classical piece, late grades, and 1 contemporary piece, dispatches from the front. For my classical piece, I'll be taking off all of my clothes. Crude-a-roo protrudes dubious boobies. Beep, beep. Okay. But all kidding and joshing aside, I will take them off. Now, why is this piece classical? Surely you jest. The body is classical. It goes all the way back and all the way front. It starts the art, the body does. But there's no argument there, eh? Naturally not. Now, in the great tradition of auditions, you may stop me at any time. You can stop me 1 second after I start, but, and here's the stinger. Just bear with me, okay? I'm a little hyped up. A simple task, and I will be right back with you. Hold on, please. There, tap the cat. That's that. Nice kitty. Where were we? Stop me at any time, right? Just yell out. Thank you, Miss Tipper. But courteous, and Zapparuti. I stop, I nip the strip. But when I stop my classical piece, I shift immediately into my contemporary piece, which is, full attention now, beating the cat's head in with a hammer. Yikes, holy mackerel, is this broad kidding? Well, I wouldn't want to spoil it for you, but I don't think she's kidding. So, dear listeners, that's the full menu. That's all she wrote. But the tickle and the tushy are the options. Option A, we could let this poor, desperate little girl debase herself, and will be debased. Mortified, I mean, no clothes, here, in front of strangers, crummy, yucky, hateful. Or option B, you could yell out, thank you, Miss Tipfer, and watch her clonk the kitty. Now remember, Miss Tipfer is fast. It'll happen in the flash. Kitty Plaza! And haven't we, you, fess up now, actually killed little puss? Responsibility! Or we have option C, which is, we could give Mary Tipfer the crummy, undemanding, 12-line, 2-scene part, which, let me assure you, any mildly competent, average workday actress could do well standing on her head humming, "You can take this job and shove it." Backwards. Okay. Now, the last option. This is just too tawdry, but we are nothing if not thorough. We could give her the part now, and when she splits, she and the furry hostage, we could take it away from her on the basis that she needs psychiatric attention. But if you did that, Mary Tipfer would find you in Jacobean revenge, kill the feline, and perhaps, disturbing thought, herself in a particularly garish and oriental manner. Right in front of you. Okay. We are ready to get into the what-no. We're out of the exposition and into the meat of the matter. Denouement. Everybody has their work cut out for them. The dialectic, you have a part, I want a part. We have serious business here, right? Right. Okay, I will begin my classical piece by unbuttoning my Jordache blouse. Watch me closely. Both hands are connected to my arms.
Dad was going to be here tonight, but the Lord froze his face, so he sent me. I learned this from my dad. He learned it on up from great-grand, who took it on from Reverend Solomon Fraser. He had himself a mule ministry around these parts way back when. Now, my dad taught Miss Ellie, my mom, and my brother Jamie. He was in it too before he went for Detroit. What I've got here is snakes. A lot of people don't like snakes. It gives them its nature, I guess. Now, in here is mocs. Jamie said they got the dirtiest, nastiest bite of them all. Your biggest would be your rattler. A lot of venom. You milk a rattler, you can half fill up a juice glass. Old Dad, he said Jamie should do rattlers, but he never. He did heads, copperheads. Now they're like slower and safer, but ain't such a good show. You know those dang things smell like cucumbers? They do. Miss Ellie's favorite mocs. Dad ought too. Well, he did all kinds, all ways. Now, your moccasin, that's your good old boy snake. Flat out mean. Lots of getting up and going. Heck, they'll chase you, they will. Old Dad didn't like Miss Ellie doing them. He'd say, "You lay off them mocks before they lay you down." Made Miss Ellie laugh. Snake handling. All my blood does it. Only Dad on me now, though. Snake handling with the holiest church. Where I come from, we take God pretty serious. If you got the spirit, snake don't bite. If it bites you, you know you ain't got spirit. Makes the difference real clear, don't it? It says it right there in the Bible. Mark chapter 16, verses 17 and 18. And these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name you shall cast out devils. They shall speak in new tongues. They shall take up serpents. And they shall drink any deadly thing, and it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover. I don't suppose it could get much clearer than that. Now, when I handle, I keep them in this box. I got this box for my 9th birthday. Dad gave me this in some G.I. Joe. Sometimes I'll open it up and stick my foot in, or maybe stick it open side to my chest. There's some people lay it to their face. I don't know. It scares my eyes. During service, we take them right out and pass them around. It's a lot more dangerous than a single handle. The snake gets compared. Who's got the spirit a whole lot and who's just got a little. Somebody's just about bound to come in second. Now, don't get me wrong. You don't die every time you get bit. I've been bit 7 times. 4 times by the same snake. Dad says he's got a sweet tooth for me. Now, Dad, he's been bit 32 times. Ain't never seen him a doctor. Used to let me kiss him right out the marks. Last one, got it right here. Froze him right up. Dad says he'll thaw him. I don't know. Day after Jamie took off, Miss Ellie did Mike standing in the back of a pickup down Hard Burley. Shouldn't have to, because her mind weren't there. Coal truck backfired and she got bit. The snake bit her 3 more times before she hit the ground. Dad all laid hands on her, but she died anyway. There was 10 of us handling the funeral. Snake handling. Snake knows what you feel. You can fool a person, but you can't fool a snake. You got the spirit, God blocks their jaws and keeps you safe. I tell you what, I don't believe in no God. It's gone. Left me with Miss Ellie. I was snake handling when I knew it sure. During service, we had that snake out. It was going on down the line. Marita was yelling, "The Lord is in me and with me, in me and with me." And Noah, he was ululating and talking in tongues. There was people, they were rolling and singing. Old Dad, he was doing switch grips with Miss Ellie's wedding ring on his little finger. And then it came on me. There ain't no God in here. There's just a bunch of shouters getting entranced. About that time, they laid that snake on me. It felt fussy and nasty and just looking for an excuse. And I was an empty vessel. No worse nor a Pharisee. Started to get some leverage. My blood went so cold I could have cracked ice cubes. I grabbed it. I said, "Snake, you Satan handmaid." Now, I know I ain't got the spirit, but I'm the only one left here with Dad, and he needs me. So out of his love and his need, you lock your jaws. And just about then, the old wriggly thing went limp. I tranced it. It was a great day at service. Ain't nobody handling get bit. I tell you one thing for sure, though. You've got to believe. Holiness Church was dead right about that. Gets me wondering. You know, I get looking, wondering if you've got anything in you to lock a serpent's jaws. If you've got any power, or spirit, or love, or whatever. If you could handle it. I tell you what, you can read it. You look me in the face, it don't take me a full 30 seconds. Doesn't matter if you can handle or not. There's one thing sure in this world. If you don't believe, you're going to get bit.
The day my mother found out she was dying, she asked me to go out and buy her these clear glass marbles. Dad and I hadn't even known she was ill, which was nothing new. Whenever you asked my mother if she was ill, she would throw things at you. Sesame buns, the editorial page, a handful of hair ribbons. "Do not," she would say, "suggest things to suggestible people." Anyway, I brought her the marbles and she counted 90 of them out and put them in this old glass vase, which had been the sum total of great Aunt Helena's estate. Apparently, the doctors had given her 3 months, and she set great store by doctors. She said she always believed them because they were the nearest thing to the Old Testament we had. "I wouldn't give you 2 bits for these young, smiley guys," she'd say. "I go for a good, stern-furrowed physician." She wouldn't even have her teeth cleaned by a dentist under 50. So she counted out 90 clear glass marbles and set them in the bowl on her bedside table. Then she went out and spent $1,200 on nightgowns. She said, "In my family, you are only dying when you take to your bed, and that, my darlings, is where I am going." And she did. Oh, we hashed it around. Dad said she couldn't possibly be dying, but the doctors convinced him. I told her it seemed a little medieval to lie in state up there, but she said she didn't want to be distracted from what she loved. Us. And what she wanted to mold. She said there was nothing outside except drugstores and supermarkets and dry cleaners, and that, given her situation, they were beneath her dignity. I asked her what she intended to do up there, and she said, study French, visit with us, General Emo, maybe call a few pals. Study French. She said she'd made a promise to herself years ago that she'd die bilingual. Dad and I cried a lot. But she didn't. He was fun to cry with. From then on, the doctors had to come see her because, as she put it, she came in with a house call and she was going out with a house call. And all day, every day, she would hold one of these marbles in her hand. Why? She said it made the day longer. Mother had her own bedroom. That was the way it always was, for as long as I can remember. She called my father the Thrasher. He could really get into a nightmare. Apparently, early on in the marriage, he'd flipped over and broken her nose, and that was it. Separate beds. Her room was very spare, really. Wooden floors, an old steel and brass bed, oak dresser, bedside table, and don't ask me why, a hat rack. No pictures on the walls. She never understood how someone could look at the same darn thing day after day. We'd sit with her after dinner and talk about issues. She said she was too far gone for gossip or what we ate for lunch. Then in a little while, after we'd turn in, just before I drift off, I'd hear this. Happened every night. After the 3rd or 4th day, I saw one on the floor and went to pick it up. But she said, "Leave it." She said it very sharply. I asked, "How come?" And she said, she was learning to let go of them. Oh, there were things she wanted. She made out a list of children's books from her childhood, and we got as many of them as we could find from the library. She said they were still the only good books she'd ever read. She wrote notes to, I don't know, maybe 60 or 70 people, and they told us later on that they were sort of little formal goodbyes, each of them recalling some incident or shared something, not very significant. But the odd thing was that in each one, she included a recipe. A recipe in every one of them. We got out the big cookie tin full of snapshots that somehow never became a scrapbook. She liked that. She showed my father how she handled the medical insurance and how she handled the accounts. We went through her jewelry. She had the television moved up in her room. She called me aside to say that it was entirely possible that she might reach a stage where she really wouldn't know what she was watching, but that I must promise I'd keep it on PBS. Later on, when it started getting hard, she told Dad and me she'd like to spend more time alone. I'm afraid, she said, I'm going to have to do this more or less by myself. She said she was glad and she hoped we would be, that this was arranged so that you got less attached to the people you loved at the end. Now, the next part isn't really worth going into. It was just hard. Do you know that from the very beginning down to the very last, she never admitted to any pain? Never. She called it the chills. Last thing she asked for was a picture from the entrance hall of the Labrador Retriever she and Dad had owned when they were first married. He was, she said, a perfectly dreadful dog. When you are young, she said, you believe in the perfectibility of dogs. I was in bed 2 weeks ago, Wednesday toward dawn. Then this. Dad and I ran in there. The bedside table was turned over. She was gone. Dead. When the emergency medical people arrived, they found this. The rest spilled and the table fell, but this one was still in her hand. Keep it. Keep it in my hand all day. It makes the day longer.
The older I become, the more I'm drawn to the light, to radiance of all kinds. Both the lights and the shadows, they fascinate me. Perhaps it's some sort of primitive fire syndrome, or more simply, fear of the dark. I've rented this loft and filled it with lamps. I spend most evenings here. I suppose it's both eccentric and childlike, though I prefer to think of it as sort of play. I draw enormous energy, and then there's the actual heat, of course. I hope I'm not boring with this. May I show you something? It's delightful to move about, to extend an arm, to move and weave through the pools of warmth, to feel and receive several sources all at once. Any movement, and the balance is changed. And when you've exhausted those relationships, why, you can change them, don't you see? I'm a bit frightened that sharing this will bore you. It's difficult to share our enthusiasms. Do you interact with light? Do you respond to it? Like night flying, costume jewelry on velvet, wet neon, trees frozen over under the street lamps. Here, I'll show you. And now, moving through. There we go. Seeing the lights above me makes me laugh. Why is that, do you suppose? You probably assume it's a history, of course. Most of these lamps are from Catsafall Farm. Now, that's Iowa. They're from family and friends like my son and my wife. They're all personal. I won't bore you. Memories, I believe, are a pattern of sorts. And these are a pattern, so they are memories. I endlessly wondered what older age will be like, will feel like, as have you. A diminishment, a narrowing. There are so many things that one obviously cannot do. People once central to one's life are gone or dispersed. One is less often useful. My grandfather, when he was very rich in years, used to say that he was de-needed and unpacked. There would be necessarily fewer people. I suppose that's why it makes sense to build my relationships to these, so that when that time comes, I won't be without intimacy. I have one older sister, Amelia. She lives in a planned community in Albuquerque, New Mexico, a sort of leisure world. She moved there from Catsafall. Her husband was a thoracic surgeon, so she is very well off. She is busy with ever so many activities. She has many, many friends. But picture this. Amelia has not a single solitary acquaintance that knew her before the age of 60. A sort of amnesiac with many friends and no memories. Baking in the sun like a Pop-Tart. Quite beyond. A few years ago, she came to visit me here. And I shared this interesting pattern of memories and warmth, and how extraordinarily the hand takes to light. It's lovely. And then, after a long silence, a really nice silence, really, she stood up and said, "Lawrence, you're as mad as a March hare." And then she flew home for a card tournament. It has been my experience that light is the more pleasurable as you diminish it, and that when a single glow remains, there is an agony of pleasure and anticipation while you wait for that final glow to extinguish. It bewilders and thrills me. This light that has become my friend to succor and sustain me is ever so lovely, ever so. This light, this radiance, and then, finally, of course,
Shoot. Rodeo's just going to hell in a handbasket. Rodeo used to be something. I loved it, I did. Once, Daddy and a bunch of them was fooling around with some old bronc over to our place. And this old red nose named Cinch, he got bucked off. My daddy hooted and he said he had him a 9-year-old girl, namely me. Wouldn't have no damn trouble cowboying that horse. So, he put me on up there, stuck that riding rein in my hand, give me a kiss and said, "Now, there's just one thing to remember, honey love. You fall off, you just don't come home." Well, I stayed up. You gotta stay on a bronc 8 seconds, otherwise the ride don't count. So, from that day on, my daddy called me Big 8. Heck, that's all the name I got anymore, Big 8. Used to be for cowboys, the rodeo did. Do it in some open field. Folks would pull up their cars and pickups around it, sit on the hoods, some ranch hand would bulldog him a rank steer, and everybody'd wave their hats and call him by name. Ride us some bucking stock, rope a few calves, get throwed off a bull, and then we'd just get ourselves to a bar and tell each other lies about how good we did. Used to be a family thing. Wooly, Billy Tilson, and Tammy Lee had them 5 kids on the circuit. 3 boys, 2 girls, and Wooly and Tammy. Wouldn't know 2-beer rodeo in Oklahoma didn't have a Tilson entered. Used to call the oldest girl Tits. Tits Tilson. I never seen a girl that top-heavy could ride so well. Said she only fell off when the gravity got her. Cowboys used to say, she fell face down, you could plant 2 young trees in the hole she'd leave. Tits Tilson. Now, the rodeo used to be for people, for ranch people, for farm people. They knew what they was looking at, knew a good ride from a bad ride, knew hard from easy, you broke your bones, spent the day eating dirt, at least you got appreciated. Now they bought the rodeo. Them. Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, Marlboro damn cigarettes, you know the ones I mean, them. Hire some New York fancy boy to sit on some old stuffed horse in front of a sagebrush photo and smoke that junk. Hell, tobacco wasn't made to smoke, honey, it was made to chew. Lord wanted you filled up with smoky to set you on fire. Damn, it gets me. There's some guy in a banker suit runs the rodeo now. Got him a pinky ring and a digital watch, honey. Told us we ought to have a whatchamacallit, choreographist or something. Some old ballbuster used to be with the Ice Dam Capades. Wants us to ride around dressed up like Mickey Mouse, Pluto, crap like that. Told me I had to hold my butt through the barrel race, done up like Minnie damn Mouse in a tutu. Nuh-uh, honey. Them people, they so screwed up they probably eat what they run over in the road. Listen. They got the clowns wearing astronaut suits. I ain't lying. You know what a rodeo clown does? So you go down, fall off, whatever. The clown runs in front of the bull so you don't get stomped. Now Pinstripes, he got him in spacesuits telling jokes on a microphone. First horse see him done up like the Star Wars went crazy. Best bucking horse on the circuit, name a piss and vinegar. Took one look at them clowns, had him a heart attack and died. Cowboy was riding him, got himself squashed. 1,200 pounds of coronary arrest just fell right through him. Land, vaya con Dios. Crowd thought that was funnier than the astronauts. I swear, it won't be long before they're strapping ice skates on the ponies. Big crowds now. Hardly no farm people, no ranch people, nobody I know. Just a bunch of disco babies and divorce lawyers. Designer jeans and day-glow Stetsons. Hell, the whole bunch of them wears French perfume. That smells like money now. Got it on the cable TV. Listen. When you rodeo, you're just bound to kick yourself up some dust, right? Well, now seems like that fogs up the old TV camera, so, a while back, they told us we was gonna ride on this new stuff called Astro Dirt. Dust-free. Artificial damn dirt, honey. Lord have mercy. Banker suit called me in the other day. Said, Lurleen, I said, hold it. Who's this Lurleen? Round here, they call me Big 8. Well, Big 8, he said, my name's Wallace. Wallace. I said, that's a real surprise to me, because around here, everybody just calls you dumbass. Nah, he laughed real big. He slapped his big old desk, and then he said that I wasn't suitable for the rodeo no more. Said they was looking for another type, like the Dallas Cowgirls, maybe. Said that riding and roping wasn't the thing no more. Talked on about floats, costumes, dancing, choreography. If I was a man, I'd have pissed on his shoe. Said he'd give me a lifetime pass, though. Said I could come to his rodeo anytime I wanted. Rodeo used to be people riding horses for the pleasure of people who rode horses. Made you feel good about what you could do. Rodeo wasn't worth no money to anybody. Hell, money didn't have nothing to do with it. Used to be 7 Tilsons riding in that rodeo. Wouldn't none of them dress up like Donald damn Duck, so they quit. That there's the law of gravity. Listen, there's a bunch of jackasses in this country sneaking around till they see you having fun. And then they buy that fun and they start selling it. See, they figure if you love it, they can sell it. Well, you look out, honey. They want to make themselves $1 out of what you love. Dress you up like Minnie damn Mouse. Sell your rodeo. Turn your pleasure into us damn companions. You hear what I'm saying? You're just merchandise to them. You're just merchandise to them.
I started twirling when I was 6. Mama sawed off a broom handle, and Uncle Carbo slapped on some silver paint. Well, gray, really, upon it. And I went down to my basement, and I twirled. Later on, Mama hit the daily double on horses named Spin Dry and Silver Revolver. And she took that as a sign to get me lessons at the Dainty Deb Dance Studio, where the lady, Miss Aurelia, taught me some twirling on the side. I won the Ohio Juniors title when I was 6 in the Midwest Young Adult Division 3 years later. And then in high school, I placed 4th in the Nationals. Mama and I were there in look-alike Statue of Liberty costumes, and Daddy was there in a t-shirt with my name on it, April. My first name is April, and my last name is March. There were 4,000 people there, and when they called my name, golden balloons fell out of the ceiling. Nobody, not even Charlene and Morrison, ever finished 4th at my age. Oh, I have flown high and known tragedy both. Daddy says it put spirit in my soul and steel in my heart. My left hand was crushed in a riding accident by a horse named Big Blood Red. And though I came back to twirl, I couldn't do it at the highest level. That was denied me by Big Blood Red, who clipped my wings. You mustn't pity me, though. Oh, by no means. Being denied showed me the way. Showed me the glory that sits inside life where you can't see it. People think you're a twin if you twirl. It's a prejudice of the unknown. One night, I was doing fire batons. It was a night game. And this guy walks right out of the stands. I mean, I was doing triples, and he comes right out past the halftime guard. He's wearing this blue bead headband. I can still see it. Comes right up to me, and when I come front after a back reverse, he spits in my face. That is the only single time I've ever dropped a baton. Dropped them both in front of 60,000 people. And he says this thing that I won't repeat. He called me a bodily part in front of half of Ohio. It was like being raped. It showed me that beauty inspires hate, and that hating beauty is Satan. You haven't twirled, have you? I can see that by your hands. Would you like to hold my silver baton? Here, you can hold it. You can't imagine what it feels like to have that baton up in the air. See, I used to twirl with this girl who called it blue collar zen. The baton catches the sun when it's up. When it goes up, you go up too. It's like a flying glider. We got over 20 feet. See, it's amazing. Only a twirler knows that. See, a secret for a twirler is the light. You live or die by the light. It's your fate. The best is a February sky clouded over in the late afternoon. It's all background then. See the baton, it leaves tracks, traces. It etches the air. And if you're hot, if your hands really have it, you can draw on the sky. Now, Charlene Ann Morrison, Charlene Ann, she was inspired by something beyond. Man, she won the Nationals 9 years in a row. Unparalleled and unrepeatable. Last 2 years, she had leukemia. And you could see straight through her hands when she twirled. So you see, Charlene Ann died at that time 30 feet up. Her mama swears on that. Twirling is the physical parallel to revelation. It is the throwing of yourself up to God. It's a pure gift, hidden from Satan because it's wrapped in the midst of football. It's God throwing spirit fire, and very few come to it. You have to grow eyes in your heart to understand its message. It becomes your path to suffer ridicule, to be crucified by misunderstanding, to be spit upon. There's one twirling nobody sees. On the winter solstice, we get together at a meadow God showed us just outside of Green Bay. The God throwers get there on December 21st. There's snow, deep snow, and all of our clothes fall away. We stand unprotected as acolytes bring the tongs. They're ebony tongs, 3 feet long with razors set all along the shaft. One by one, the twirlers throw them up. They arch in the air and find God and fly down to take your blood in a crucifixion, red on white. You can't imagine how wonderful that is. See, I started twirling when I was 6, but I never really twirled until my left hand was crushed by big blood red, and I have seen God's face from 30 feet in the air, and I know him! Listen, I will leave my silver baton right here for you, lying here as if I forgot it. And as the people file out, it can be yours. It can be your burden. It is the eye of the needle. I leave it for you.
I had one wish in my life, why, I'd like to live in McDonald's. Right there in the restaurant, instead of this old place. I'll come up to the brow of the hill, bowed down with my troubles, hurting under my load, and I'll see that yellow horseshoe, sort of like part of a rainbow. It gives my old spirit a lift. Lord, I can sit in a McDonald's all day. I've done it too. Walked the 7 miles with the sun just on its way, then sat in the curb till 5 minutes to 7. First one there and the last to leave. Just like some old French fry they forgot. I like the young people working there, like a team of fine young horses when I was growing up. All smiling. Tell you what I really like, though, is the plastic. God gave us plastic so there wouldn't be no stains on his world. See, in the human world of Earth, it all gets scratched, stained, tore up, faded down, loses its shine. All of it does, in time. Well, God, he gave us the idea of plastic so we know what the everlasting really was. See, if there's plastic, then there's surely eternity. It's God's hint. You ever watch folks when they come on into McDonald's? They always speed up, almost run the last few steps. You see if they don't. Old Dobbin, the barn inside. They know it's safe in there, and it ain't safe outside. Now, it ain't safe outside, you know it. I seen a man killed by a Big Mac. I have. I was just sitting. Last summer it was. Oh, they don't ever move you on. It's a sacred law on McDonald's. You can sit for 100 years. Only place in this world. Well, a fella, maybe 35, maybe 40, come on in there dressed real nice, real bright tie, brand new baseball cap, nice white socks, and he had him, that disease. You know the one I mean, cerebral walrus, they call it. Anyway, he had a macaque leg. His poor old body had it 2 speeds at the same time. Well, he got him some coffee with a lid on and sat him down, and Jimmy the towhead cook knew him, see, and he brought over a Big Mac. Well, the sick fella ate maybe half of it, and then he was just sitting, you know, suffering those tremors, when a couple of ants come right out of the burger. Now, there ain't no ants in McDonald's, no way. Lord sent those ants. And the sick fella, he looked real sharp at the burger, and a bunch more ants marched on out, nice as you please. And his head lolled right over, and he pitched himself out of that chair and banged his head on the floor and loud. Thwack! Like a bowling ball dropping. And you half sick to hear it. We jump up and run over, but he was cold out. Well, those serving kids, so cute. They watered him, stuck a touch of pepper up his nostril, slapped him right smart, and bang! Up he got. Staying in a blinking. Well, how are you? We say. He looks us over, looks right in our eyes, and he said, I'm fine. And he was fine. Tipped his Cincinnati Reds baseball cap, big just swallowed the canary grin, walked us, paraded out of there clean straight line like a pole bean poplar, walked up a plumb line with no trace of the walrus. Got outside, jumped up, whooped, hollered, sang the national anthem, flagged down a Circle Line bus, and rode off with Muhammad Ali, waving and smiling like the king of the pharaohs. Healed by a Big Mac. I saw it. McDonald's. You ever seen anybody die in McDonald's? No, sir. No way. Nobody has ever died in one. Shoot, they die in Burger Kings all the time. Kentucky Fried Chicken's got they old damn ambulances. No, you can't die at a McDonald's no matter how hard you try. It's the spices. Seals you safe in this life like it seals in the flavor. Yes, yes. I asked Gerald, could I live there? See, they close up around 10 and there ain't a thing going on in them till 7 a.m. I just sit in those nice swingy chairs, lean forward, rest my head on those cool, smooth tables, sing me a hymn, and sleep like a baby. Oh, I got my bed in, peaceful and clean. Sometimes I see it like the last of a movie. You know how they start the picture up real close and then back it off steady and far? Well, that's how I dream it. I'm living in McDonald's. It's real late at night. You see me up close, smiling. And then you see the whole McDonald's from the outside, lit up and friendly. And I get smaller and smaller, like they do. And then it's just a light in the darkness, like a star. I'm in it. Part of that light. Part of the whole sky. It's all McDonald's. A part of something even bigger. Something fixed and shiny. Like plastic. I know. It's just a dream. Just a beacon in the storm. But you gotta have a dream. So our dreams make us what we are.
Mm-hmm.